You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Welcome to A Better You on Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. I am your host and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I am a certified life and career coach. Also, I teach meditation and yoga. I'm so excited for this show. This is one of my favorites because it's about lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. We have 3 experts with us today who are going to share incredible knowledge and their expertise and experience with us. So without further ado, let me introduce them. We have, hailing from the great state of Texas, Mr. Red Laughlin. We also have from Texas, Diann Floyd Boehm. And all the way from New Zealand, we have Mariska Du Preez. Hello. So nice to see all of you. 3 of my favorite people all have a major role in my life. So thank you so much. I'm just thankful for each of you and for all the things I've learned from you. You are a wealth of information, but most importantly, you're just really good people.
Thanks.
Yes, I think that's really the most important thing. I'd like you to share a little bit about who you are. So who you are, we know where you're from, but who you are and what you do for a living and what you're going to share with us today. All right, how's that sound?
Great.
Excellent. And then what we'll do is we will spotlight Red, who's going to go first for the first presentation. Red will have 15 minutes, as will each of you, to share your lesson with us. And then we'll have conversation with whomever is here. And then we will go to, was it Diann or Mariska? I forget who's next.
Diann.
Diann. Okay, Diann and then Mariska. Okay, beautiful. Red, I'm going to
No, it's Mariska, I think.
Okay,
No,
well,
Yeah, I can go in the middle, then I split the Texans.
Okay.
yes, all right, I like it. Red, Mariska, and Diann. Okay, Red, let's start with you. Please tell us who you are and what you're going to be sharing today.
I'm an author, best-selling author. I write books. I've written 5 of my own, published 4 of them. I have speaking gigs that I do just like we're doing now. I do quite a bit around. And more importantly, I'm an independent publisher. Today's topic is going to be how to write and publish a book for free. Yes, free. Absolutely no money. And that's what I'm going to talk about today.
Thank you, Red. And just want everyone to know that Red is my book coach. He's my writing coach, book coach. So he's helping me immensely. He's got a really cool process that he uses with new authors. So we'll hear a little bit more about that at the end of the show. Let's move on to Mariska. Who are you? And what are you going to be sharing with us today?
I'm Mariska Du Preez, and as you guys know, from New Zealand. And I will be sharing goal setting with you guys today and having a little bit of an overview. So not specific, but more of a global, this is what I want to do type of goal setting. So that's what we will work on today. And I am a transformation and career coach. And yeah, absolutely love what I do.
Thank you very much. And for those of you who haven't met Mariska before, she is the woman who helped me come up with a plan to leave my corporate job. So she helped me over 9 months. I think we talked about other things, obviously, during that time, but she's outstanding. I highly recommend her. And moving on to Diann Floyd Boehm. Diann, who are you and what will you be sharing today?
Hello, everyone. Yes, so I'm Diann Floyd Boehm, and I live in Kingwood, Texas, which is close to Houston. And I'm going to be sharing with you about tips for aspiring authors. I'm a children's author, about to have also my first chapter book for young readers. And my background is education, and I am just enjoying the new journey I'm on.
Thank you, Diann. Diann is the connector. She is the networker, and she will go out of her way to help you. Please don't start calling. We don't want thousands of people calling, but I'll just say she is truly amazing. So thank you all for being here. I want to say hello to Jeff Piancentino. Sorry if I missaid that. Moonstar Crystal, Lisa Cohen, Jeff Wills, and Ann Stolinsky. We're really glad to have you today. Thank you so much. All right, so Red, I think I'm going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll spotlight you. How does that sound? All right, let's take a break, and we'll be right back.
The world of healthcare is benefiting us in many ways, but the risk of becoming a victim to an airborne infection is increasing at a fast pace too. There are threats from viruses, allergic pollen, and chemicals which cause you loss of health, income, business, mental health, family and friends. All are at stake. One solution to this threat are the BV Air Sanitation Placide-based systems. When you call our team on 0208 104 3253, you find out about the amazing protection available. Protection that uses certified Battlefield, tested, standard and customized air disinfection systems for your personal and business use. Each system uses a filterless technology known as Placide, which attacks all airborne particles with microlighting to destroy and eliminate viruses and other harmful particles in your office, transport and home. You also benefit from extra bonuses such as low running and maintenance costs, no regular filter and part changes. You get to work with our trained experts and professional staff and be made aware of the latest in airborne protection and disinfection strategy. Keep yourself healthy by working with our trained experts and Placide virus killing systems, which keep you safe from airborne viruses. BV Air Sanitation Limited. We save lives, save businesses, and prevent infection. Schedule your free consultancy call and virus protection checklist. Call 0208 104 3253 or connect to us on www.bvbuster.com.
I tried to ignore it, but my stomach issues were out of control. I couldn't fix them on my own. It was time to do something. A friend said the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation could help me find a specialist. Feels good to finally have a plan. Don't hide your symptoms. Get help at spillyourguts.org today.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back to A Better You, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. Each of our experts today will have 15 minutes to present a lesson, and Red has graciously once again offered to go first. We do love that about you, Red. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to spotlight you. Wait till I put up the timer, please, and I will mute the rest of us. And here's your timer. Take it away, Red.
Howdy, y'all. Red here. My talk today is about how to write and publish a book for free. I'm talking about free, not a penny. Part of the problem is that when we are doing a lot of things with books, we think, well, it's going to be too expensive. It's going to take too long. I don't think I can do it. Just a lot of things in there that create, maybe a problem here, there, or yonder. And so when you start looking at those kinds of things, it is overwhelming. Anyway, so let's talk about free. A friend of mine says that nothing's for free, even if you give away free advice, because I may not get paid today. I may not get paid by you, but I will get paid down the road, because if I do a really good job for you, somebody's going to recommend me. So, but I'm not looking forward to that today. All I'm looking forward is just telling you how to do it. This is a how-to part. Writing's pretty simple. We all do it, most of us. Publishing can be a little bit complicated, not much. Marketing is a jungle. If you're not really versed in that area, it can take a lot of money and time. But anyway, why do people write books? Well, if you know what your why is, it's going to keep your head in the game. If you're just writing to write, there's nothing holding you into that. Step number one, I think, is get an accountability partner. Find somebody who's going to hold your feet to the fire, whatever you're doing. When you start looking at trying to select a title for a book, titles cannot be copyrighted. So if you want to do Think and Grow Rich or The Secret or any other book title that's out there, that's fair game. So select a title and keep it as a temporary title, because in reality, you can change it. The subtitle is really where you get your bang, because the subtitle has the keywords, and if somebody's just searching for a topic, more than likely, if your keywords are in your title and subtitle, that's how they're going to find you. Okay, so outline is really the roadmap for your journey through writing. Just jot down what should be in there and then kind of follow that. Plan for stories in there. You want to have stories because stories sell. That's what grabs people. That's the emotional attraction in there. So regardless of what you have, the stories are what's going to keep the people's interest. You might have to do a little bit of market research to kind of feel where that book goes at, but regardless. Anyway, I highly recommend when you start writing a book and you're going to mention anybody else's name, use fictitious names, fictitious companies, fictitious places. You're just going to protect yourself from liability. Do not write longhand. I came across an author about a year ago at an author meeting, and she had this 1.5 inch handwritten. Somebody has to type that up. If you're going to do it on the computer, free. We don't want to pay anybody to do something. Who's your audience? If you know who your audience is, it makes it a whole lot easier to write to that person or group. You may want to find a picture. If you're writing to older adults, put that one up. If you're writing to kids, put a picture of kids up there. That way, when you're looking, you can always see who you're talking to. It keeps your mind focused on them. Several methods to write. Not one any easier than the other, because we're each individuals, but you can sit down and write. That's one way of doing it. You can plan every last detail. That's also a way. You can record it. That works. I happen to recommend, depending on the type of book, what they call an interview method. And I'll talk a little bit about that here in a second or two. But as you're doing these kinds of things, they lend to a lot of editing or very little editing. It may take you weeks or months to write a book. It may take you just as long to edit a book. So those are the things that you need to be a look at. So if you're just going to be writing a book, I recommend the 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 method. The 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 method. 1 is the main topic. 3 are the sections. If I said health and wellness, I might have eating, sleeping, exercising. 5 are the chapters on each of those. So if I said 5 chapters on eating, might be calories, nutrition, carbs, fats, proteins. 5 chapters on sleeping, might be quality, blue lights, eating before, drinking before bed, snooze alarms. 5 chapters on exercising could be cardio, strength training, flexibility, balance, stretching. Then the 7 are the sub chapters. In other words, if I go into the eating, I might want to talk about calories, too little, too much, plant-based, animal-based, bad calories versus good calories, added salt, toxins. There's a lot you can do in there with regard to taking those things. And the 10 might be a summary at the end, so you're coming and just picking up the 10 most important things in there. When you record a book, you have a tendency to ramble. That's why I prefer an interview style. So if I said, tell me about the first car you ever owned, it'd be easy, because you know that. So if you structure your book with the questions that people need to know the answers to, then you just record it on your cell phone or wherever. Then it makes it super simple in order to write the book, because you already know the answers to the questions. So you have question and then bullet, bullet, bullet. Those are the sub chapters. Yeah, and you just go from one to the next, and you just basically have an interview with somebody. It really minimizes the amount of editing compared to sitting down and writing just off the top of your head. So those are the kinds of things that you need to do. Now, you ought to familiarize yourself as you're going through there and developing this book with the style manuals. You can get free ones online. The Chicago Style Manual is the most well known, but you want to know how to do capitalizations and numberings and dates and quotes. That's a big one on quotes. If you have a period, then the parenthesis if you're quoting somebody, not the parenthesis and then the period. Little things. AM, PM, it should be little a period, little m period for AM, PM. Those things. Anyways, a lot of information in the style manuals. You want to have it look pretty good. Remember, Dr. Google is your friend. Use him a lot. Also, YouTube is your friend. Use him a lot. Use other books as examples. Always indent the first line of each paragraph. Well, maybe not always. Most books have the first line indented. Use a type font that's comfortable for your reading. For your typing. It can always be changed later. I write for baby boomers. My normal is Times New Roman on a 16 font. Use something that's comfortable. You can always change it later on. Most people write for a 6x9 book. If you're writing single spaced 8.5 by 11, double the number of pages. If you have 90 pages of 8.5 single spaced, that's probably 180 pages of 6x9. Photos, you must have a copyright approval. If people are in your photos, you have to have their approval. I have one woman whose son would not give her approval, so his picture's not in her book. Remember, your photos on your paperback are going to be in black and white, so if you don't have a lot of contrast, that might be something to look at. Save your work, change the title every day, update it, because you don't know when you need to go back and pull something up. Use your backups, flash drive, whatever you want. Anyway, those are the things you need to do. Let's talk about editing and proofing for a moment. Use your Microsoft spell checker. Almost everybody has that. Most of the time, there might be even a grammar checker in there with that. Check for troubling words. Sometimes you might have a who or a whom, your, you are, contraction. It's IT, apostrophe S. I also have may and can issues, affect, effect, less, fewer, if and when. That's a big one for me. I do a lot of ifs. I come back later and check each if and make sure, maybe it ought to be a when. Use free versions of grammar checkers. There's a lot of them out there. I happen to use Grammarly. It's got a very good one on there. Microsoft Word has a read aloud feature that you can actually sit there and watch the cursor go by and it reads it back to you. Excellent, excellent source. You can always send chapters to your friends. Send them to readers, not other authors. Readers are your audience. Other authors and writers are not what you need. Even though they're there, you should really use readers. Read it aloud to yourself. Do a continuity check. Is there a compelling reason to start a new chapter? Is there a compelling reason to continue reading in general? Is it the right mix of stories? Are you using acronyms too often? Are you using too much passive voice? Active voice is much more preferred. Do you have widows and orphans? Do you have just a couple words at the beginning of a page that should be just pulled over to the top of the next page? Or do you have a couple words that end on the top of the next page? Single space after periods, that's the standard. Line spacing, paragraph spacing should be appropriate for your topic. Those kinds of things. Logical flow, absolutely. That can be done by a proofreader or by an editor. Do you have sufficient descriptions of your people, your locations, your things, your time period? What's really boring? Is there something in there you just kind of fall asleep in? Maybe you need to spruce that up. What's the main point of your chapter? Is that really clear as you're going through? You need to highlight at the end of the chapter. Make sure your table of contents agrees with your pages. Proofing, pretty simple. Send it to family, friends, somebody who's never seen the book before. You don't want to have an editor proof because they've already been emotionally involved in it. Set a time so you get the book back. You don't want to sit there and wait. Get a commitment from that person that they're going to read it and give it back to you in a certain period of time. Ask them, where did they get lost? Is there some place in there that you really need to know that they didn't understand a word or a concept or what was going on? Have them circle it and give it back to you. Formatting, that's the area that I really and truly love. That's the area that I specialize in. Your chapter should start on the right-hand side, usually about a third of the way down the page, always odd numbered. Your title should be in a sans serif font. Your body should be in a serif font. Those are pretty standard in the industry. Your paragraph should be justified. Your margin should be fairly consistent. Now, if you have a 100-page book, your gutter margin is going to be different than if you have a 500-page book. Gutter margins are important. All this stuff can be found online. This is nothing new. It's all free information. Use section breaks to end your chapters. Make sure you have your headers and footers there, your page numbers. Now, when you're doing your page numbers, I'll mention this maybe again later, but no page on the title, no page number on the title page. Your front matter should have Roman numerals. That's your copyright, your dedication, your table of contents, maybe your introduction. Then the rest of the book's going to be in Arabic numerals. Make sure you have your copyright. Your ISBN is free if you're using Amazon. Otherwise, it's about $125, $150, I think, is the latest price. Your dedication, your information. And I recommend that you put everything in one PDF file at the very end. It makes it so much easier for everything at the end. When you're publishing, you can get free cover off of KDP. You don't have to pay anybody for it. Once you're at 104 pages, you'll actually have a spine down the back of your book. Your book's description has to be on, doesn't have to be, should be on the back along with your author, bio, and photo. You may even have testimonials on the back. You may even have testimonials on the inside. But there should be something there in the back of the book about the author. How does somebody get in touch with you if they want to hire you as a speaker, if they want to somehow comment or do something with your book? But your descriptions, your category, when you start your author account in Amazon, you need to know what your description is, big description, not the 3 sentences on the back of the book. Your categories, that's where you're going to be competitive. Your keywords, that's how people are going to find you. Pricing, are you competitive? Maybe you are not right now, but maybe you will be. So who are your competitors, and are they really and truly, are you pricing for them? Basically, you're following the yellow brick road. You download your content, you download your cover, and voila, you run a preview. It's going to tell you if everything's up or not. If it is, great. Order a proof copy of the book. Look at what the physical book looks like in your hand before you do anything. If you like that one, then go back and push the button that says print now, publish now. Now you're out there. Now, what did I not tell you? I didn't say anything about marketing. I didn't say anything about getting your book to #1 bestseller. All I said was, how do you do it for free? Write the book, get it edited, get it proofed, and get it published for free. You can do all this yourself. There's a lot of information out there on Google. There's even more information out there on YouTube that shows you how to do each of these little things. Those are the things that will be most valuable to you when you're doing this. But what I gave you was basically a structure of how to do this. Like I say, it's relatively simple to do, but some people get lost in the weeds, even with the video. I've used lots of videos to show me how to do things. So if you can't do it, give a call. I got a call the other day from a friend of mine. He had a book, absolute giving him problems. I said, do this, this, and this. 3 days later, he called me back. His book is in the system. I mean, we're there to help. Read out.
Yeah, congrats. That was great.
Whoa. Okay. First of all, I just have to say, I am so glad that I'm working with you, Red, and I don't have to do all these things. That is a lot. That's a lot of things. I think everyone should call Red immediately and
I know.
publish the book. Work with him to do the book. I can't believe how much goes into it that I wasn't even aware of, and I'm writing a book. So that was very informative, very specific. And you really articulated so well in so many areas to make sure that you have a book, whether it's a bestseller or not, it's representative of you and the quality of work that you do. So thank you so much, Red. That was outstanding. How do you feel having done it?
It's what I do every day. It's just sharing that information with other people. I probably get 7, 8, 9 phone calls for every one that somebody may actually hire me. I give information away for free. I don't mind doing that. It's part of the, I guess, paying back kind of thing, pay it forward, whatever you want to call. But if somebody has a question, give me a call. If you can't find it on Google, give me a call. But generally speaking, 10 things you must never do when publishing, 10 things you must never do on editing. What are the biggest faux pas? I mean, there's a lot of different ways. Tell me how to do it. Well, tell me how not to do it too. There's a lot of different things that you can Google. So look at both ends of the spectrum, not just do it this way. What are the things you need to avoid? So you're not doing the bad things, you're only doing the good things. So that's what you need to keep in mind when you're Googling something, not how to, but what should you avoid also. That's just as critical.
Excellent. Well stated. Before we go to Diann and Mariska, I want to say hello to some of our fans out there. Rachel Boehm, hello to you. Christy, Angela New, Ruth Sugarberg, and Bruce Sadell. Thank you so much. So over to you, Diann. What would you like to share with Red?
Well, first of all, Red, I just love the outline that you talked about. I think it makes it clear and that everybody could actually achieve working with that outline 1, 3, 5, 7, and 10. It's just crisp, and I wish I'd had that thought before I started my other book. And the other is which I'll be even sharing later, is about the audience. You absolutely have to know your audience in order to speak to them. And in listening to you and now having one of your books, I could actually visualize the outline you did. And I hope sometime you'll come on and share about how to stay healthy, because it's an amazing book that you've written.
Anytime.
I was thinking that, Red, as you were presenting, that there's so much more to that people don't know. And, just like the other two of you, we could have you on all day, 24 hours a day, and we still wouldn't get everything that you know. So thank you, Diann, for sharing that. Mariska, what are your thoughts?
Well, I love the outline. The 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 is just perfect. And the fact that you linked it to the questions on the interview style, when you mentioned it, I thought, oh yeah, this would be easy writing, because I've been thinking about writing a book. I have never written. The closest I have come to writing something close enough to a book was a thesis, which is a lot of pages by itself, but it's not easy reading.
When you ask a question to somebody who knows the answer comes out. And if you know the order you're going to go in, the answers are there. You don't have to ramble. Your mind doesn't have to think. Okay, boom, bitty, boom, bitty, boom. And and when you do that and it's recorded, you can generally get it back. There's a lot of free software that does voice to text text recording. So you get, for free. You can get right off your cell phone, print it back into the machine. It's so simple, super simple to do. But anyway, moving right along.
Yeah, and I found that when you said it, I remember when I was writing, one of the things that I struggled with quite a bit is the flow. It just, because your brain is sort of all over the place and you have all this information, it's difficult to make things sort of feel like it flows. But by answering a question like an interview, it's going to flow.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
the question, and then all the bullets in the order you want to talk about. So you're not forgetting anything. You know the order it's going to be in. You already know ahead of time. The person also has the same list. That way, everybody's going down the same. And you're looking at that person. You're looking at their facial expressions, their body language, and you know that if you're losing them or if they're leaning forward and they're really engaged. So you kind of have a real good view of how well your story is being told. And that's another really good thing about an interview style. Is you have the ability to gauge it, as opposed to standing in front of a podium with your microphone, with your recorder there. It's not the same dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, love these tips.
Yes, all good points. I have a few things I wanted to share, but I think it'll take us off track. So forget about that. What I'm going to say about questions I had for you. So great job, Red. And now we have Mariska, who's going to go next. How do you feel? Are you ready?
I am. Can I share my screen?
Sure.
I'm just going to see. I remember there's a button around here somewhere.
It's on the bottom. It says... Yes.
And I need to find the right window. Can you see that?
Yes, I see it. Okay, let's add this. And then I'm going to take the rest of us off. And I'm going to take myself off as soon as I give you the timer for 15 minutes. So wait till I get off, if you would, please. And here you go.
Oh, wrong way.
I'm going to start again.
That's all good. Well, thank you for that, Jacalyn. And thank you for Red going first. So for my wee little something I want to share with you guys today is goal setting. So you might be able to do this with a book that you're writing. The example I have is more business-wise. So I will just get this, hopefully, to share. Jacalyn, how do I share? Ah, there you go. Good. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so what we will do is we are going to look at goal setting using the tool called Wheel of Life. So what we will do is we will draw a wee little circle and divide the circle into 8 pieces. So it looks like a sort of like a pizza. And then next, what we do with our circle is, depending on the area that you want to work on, the example we're going to use is going to be for our business. You're going to fill in the circle the aspects that you want to think about. So with the Wheel of Life, I did something similar, and it was more of a holistic overview of your entire life. I think it was in one of our January shows. So this one is more specific. So if we have a look at, and if my slideshow wants to work, which apparently it doesn't, very odd. Huh, there you go. So what we do is we fill in the 8 topics that we would like to think about in our business. So the 8 that I've filled in for us today was time management, our business fuel, so this would be your finances, clients or customer engagement, your strategy, continuous improvements that you're thinking about, building a team, if you have one, or even if you only have a small one, product development, any new things that you have developing, and then your marketing. So what we will do is, when you think about this, using it as a goal setting tool, you will first think about what's happening in your business at present and where you're at in each of these areas. So it might be that your product development, you're quite happy with that. You might feel that's maybe a 9. So the middle of the circle is a 0. The outer edge of the circle is a 10. So you fill in between, basically, where it is that you feel that you are at. Your team building, it might be that your business is growing, so you need to get some new members into your team. So that might maybe be at a 4. Continuous improvement, you are learning new things, you are improving your space, but maybe there is some area within the whole team dynamic that you still need to learn about a little bit. So that might be maybe a 6 or a 7. Your strategy for your business, you feel very happy with that. You've got that all sorted out. You know where you're going. So strategy-wise, you might put that at 8. Clients and customer engagement, that might be something that you still want to work on. You do have clients and customers coming in, but maybe you want to, with your business ramping up, you want to increase that engagement. That might be a new team member that you're looking for. So that might be at 5. Your fuel for your business, of course, this is something that's not necessarily the why we are in the business, but it is what drives the business. So we do want the fuel. And this aspect would be more on the financial side, how your incoming and outgoing is looking, and where you want to go to. So this at the moment is just the where you are at. So that's the first circle that we do. So you'll feel at the moment, you might be, okay, it's in the black. We're happy. It's not as far into the black as you would want it, but at least it's not in the red. So that's all good. So that might be at a 5 or a 6. And time management, there you might feel that you are running around like a headless chicken, and you do not have time for anything whatsoever. Hence, again, maybe why that team member is so important. So that might come out as a 2. Then what we will do is we will duplicate this same wheel, but we are going to focus on what the intent is going to be in 6 months to a year from now. So this is all going to depend on your goal and how aggressive you want to be chasing it. So you look at your clean circle, and on your first circle, you have a look at the areas that's currently very low. So as I spoke through it, we saw that our time management was really low, maybe at a 2 or 3. One of the other areas was the team building. And then we also had a little bit of a customer client engagement. Maybe that's not as high as we wanted. So those are the 3 areas that sort of stands out the most. But the number one is definitely time management. So what we will do on the next one is we'll have a look and see where it is that we want to be in 6 to 9 months from now, or even a year. So normally with goal setting, the rule of thumb is to do nothing less than 3 months and nothing more than about a year thereabouts. The reason for the goal setting, of course, we have long-term goals. So we have our 5 and 10-year goals. But the reason for the shorter goals is if it's too short, we don't necessarily pick up enough momentum. And if it's too long, we get tired. So it's just having a nice balance between the two, making sure that we don't tire ourselves out, but we still set something that is going to drive us towards this future that we want to create. So with our new circle, we have a look at our time management and think about how our day is at present. Currently, we can't sit still. We don't have any time. We literally eating lunch between doing other stuff. It's just chaotic and working till the wee hours in the morning. It's not sustainable. So time management, definitely something we need to look at. Let's make it 6 months from now. We want to have something that is, at least I can get to bed at around 9, 10 at night. Still have my early mornings, that's all good. And have some form of lunch break at some point during the day. So for me to be able to do that, I need to get that extra team member. So my extra team member and the area where I specifically need a team member is under my client or customer engagement area. So my client customer engagement showed me, so when you look at your little blocks, you sort of see how they can link up. And I see that if I get somebody at my client customer area, because that's where I spend most of my time at the moment, if I get another pair of hands there, then at least I will free up some of my own time. And yes, it might be that you think, oh yeah, but I need to pay this extra person. Your time is really expensive. So if you need to do things that somebody else can do for a fraction of the price that you actually, if you were paying yourself, right, it's absolutely worth it. So getting that extra team member in to come and help you with your client customer engagement, that frees up some of your time that you then can start spending on other things, like, for instance, your marketing wasn't quite perfect, or it might be on your continuous improvement that you want to work on a little bit more. So this gives you a nice overview of where to work and what areas it is that's highlighted more. And you can start putting strategies in place that would enable you to grow the areas where you need to grow. A lot of the times we get so bogged down with the day-to-day things, especially when you're starting off with a business, or just even when you've run your business for quite some time. It does become a little bit narrow focused. So it's good to sort of just have a more helicopter view and actually have it on paper in front of you, so you can see what's happening. You can see what's happening right now, and you can see where you want to move to. So this is a really, really great tool for doing that. As I said the previous time, you can use it for your overall life too, to have a bit of an overview of what's going on in your life. But in this specific case, using it for a specific part or area of your life. For those of you guys that do not have a business of your own, you can use this for your career. So instead of having the business type of things, look at your stuff that you're doing in your career each day, and have those blocks marked out accordingly for all the important things that needs doing, and then see where you are for each one. So this is a very versatile tool that you can use whether you are an intrapreneur or an entrepreneur, doesn't matter, and be able to have an overview of what's going on for you, and just make it clear as to where it is that you need to focus. Because sometimes we think we know where to focus, but once it is out in the open, it becomes clear that there's other areas that might need some more attention than we thought initially. And that is basically what I have for you guys today. And Jacalyn, I see I have another 2 minutes.
Hi there. That was great.
Ooh, and I will stop sharing.
Well done. Well done. So what I really liked was, obviously I'm used to seeing the wheel of life as a coach, but I liked how you applied it to business, and then how you mentioned you could use it in career. And I was thinking to myself, when you were going through those different categories, I thought, oh my gosh, I am in the red over here, in the red over here, and running around like a chicken without a head on. So I was thinking to myself, oh, how can I be more complete, more satisfied in these different areas? And so that really helped me. Thank you very much. How did you feel doing the presentation?
Well, it's always fun sharing tools that we have available to anybody and everybody. And if it is something that can help even a little bit, I am even more happy. So yeah, good.
Wonderful. And I want to share with you and everybody, for some reason, StreamYard, when a person has a presentation, it takes a while for it to, I guess, connect with it, because sometimes slides start running backwards, but then eventually it
catches up.
Yes, I don't know why. So, Diann, what are your thoughts?
Well, I love it. I love the whole concept, and it's easy to understand. But what I was thinking this time, because I've heard your wonderful presentation before, and I learn every single time you speak, is I was thinking about in my own life as a teacher, that I was thinking, wow, I wish I kind of had this when I was speaking to my parents, because I can see it in two ways. One, to share with parents, I'm starting here. on day one with your child. And I know you're going to get a report card, but let me share with you where we're going. And here's the whole view. And I want you to grow with me. And I think teachers and parents would really love this. And then I saw it as the whole picture as a teacher. Where am I going professionally? Am I going to stay in the classroom? Am I going to set different goals to become a curriculum director? There's all different types of avenues that connect with that line. And so I just think it's brilliant, and it works even today in my own life and things that I'm doing. But I really wanted to put that out there for the audience in case some people are educators, that they should just really call you.
Well, thank you, Diann. I haven't even thought about it in the educational space in that way. So that is a great application, actually.
Yeah, thank you.
That's what I love about this show, how we all start thinking and helping each other. It's wonderful. Thank you, Diann. How about you, Red?
Well, she missed the most important part. You can do it for free.
Yes.
Very professional speaking, good pace, pauses, transitions, all very, very done. Voice exuded confidence and the knowledge of the subject. I liked the conciseness of not spending too much time in a particular area. You just kept the thing going, and so it didn't bog down. I like that a lot. The 8 areas, you showed us how they interlock. You use a really good example of the time management with the number of team members. You showed us how it's a problem-solving tool, that if you're spending too much time over here and it's a visual where do I go next? And then you told us at the end that, not only can you use this for business, but you can also use it for a career and even for your life. And I love the ending when you said that when you have the clarity based on what you can see, then you can focus on the things you need to do. So I was very impressed.
Thank you, Red.
Thank you, Red. Wonderful. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from a couple of our sponsors. We'll be back in about 2 minutes, so stay with us. And we are going to hear from Diann Floyd Boehm right now. All right, bye.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Garden. Your host, Diann Boehm. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Diann Floyd Boehm tells wonderful stories that warm the heart, spark the imagination, and unite people and families across generations. For children, Diann's Harry the Camel connects with all of us who've ever wondered how different our lives might have been if only we'd been born something better, like a wonderful horse instead of an ordinary camel. In the end, we all learn along with Harry that there's nothing better than just being yourself. Diann's Little Girl in the Moon looks down on earthbound children and wonders if they know she's just like them. A story of love, home, and the bond between mother and daughter, its powerful theme that we're each of us different yet all of us the same plants a seed in children that promises to blossom within a loving and trusting grown-up. Diann's new biography, Rise, recounts the experiences of her grandmother, Ruby, to reveal the hidden strength of the human spirit. Ruby's story inspires all of us to become the best versions of ourselves. You'll find all of Diann's delightful books and much more at DiannFloydBoehm.com. Visit DiannFloydBoehm.com. That's DiannFloydBoehm.com.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents A Better You. We are here with 3 experts, and I want to thank Diann for her sponsorship. I just really appreciate you, and I love that ad that you have. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I love that ad too, and yours is awesome. Y'all
Thank
do
you.
great commercials. Maybe you could tell people how you do the commercials.
Yes, thank you. So we do produce commercials. Al Cini, my partner, he worked for NBC, and he has a fabulous voice. He's got a voice for radio, a voice for TV. So we work together to produce commercials, and you can go to our website, drjacalyn.com/store, and we have a special offering there for you. So thank you for that, Diann. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's my first big official commercial, so I'm pretty proud of it.
Yes, you should. You should be playing it everywhere, everywhere all the time. So are you ready to do your presentation, Diann?
I am.
All right. I'm going to spotlight you and just wait until I put up the 15-minute.
Okay, it looks like we're ready to go. Hello, everyone. Today, what I'd like to share with you is tips for aspiring authors. So if you've been thinking about being an author and you think, oh, I can't, I want you to stop. And we're going to get rid of these roadblocks because you need to tell your story, because that's why in your mind you keep going, I want to write, but I can tell you how. First of all, let's get rid of the roadblocks. So some of you might think, oh, I don't have a large enough vocabulary to be an author. Oh my goodness, I don't know the grammar rules. Oh my goodness, I don't think I can really do it. Stop. Did you stop? We're going to erase your mind. Because first of all, you don't need a large vocabulary, especially depending on your audience. Exuberant, which is a fabulous word, I would never use with a 4-year-old. I might use bouncy or zippy. So vocabulary, it all depends on your audience. And again, you don't have to have a large vocabulary. Second of all, grammar rules. I do not know all the grammar rules, and I was not the best student when it came to my English classes. I enjoyed them, but I enjoyed the writing section, not the grammars. But guess what? You don't need to know everything, because thank the Lord, there are people who love that, and they're called editors, and they absolutely enjoy reading stories and helping you put the pieces of puzzles together so that your expressions are the way you intend for them to be. And that's what grammar is really about, that exclamation point, because you want to show excitement. And where does that comma go? For that pause, so that your audience knows to really stop and think about it. So yay for editors. Okay, so we have that roadblock out of the way. The other roadblock that is the most important one that you must get rid of is not believing in yourself. If you don't believe you can do it, as in anything in life, you won't be able to achieve it. So if you want to be a singer, you can sing. You just have to practice and teach that muscle. If you want to be an actor or an actress, you can do it. You just have to learn how to memorize really well and study the craft of how to become that person. It's the same in writing, and it's the same in anything. Believe in yourself. And I'm going to come back to that one even more, because I believe that's so important. So now we have the roadblocks out of the way, and we're ready to move forward. Well, the first thing I suggest is that you find a spot in your home, your apartment, outside. Maybe you want to set up a little place on your patio, wherever that you feel just peace, and that you can let the energy flow for words and thoughts to come to you. And once you have that space, then you want to have, if it's the computer you're going to write on, I like to have a notebook, and you are comfortable and ready to go. I suggest 2 different notebooks. A notebook that you're going to use to write down in the evening what you want to accomplish the next day. And why do you want to do that? Because you think, like me, I was really like, oh, I'll remember how to do that. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the day and I forgot to go to the bank. Or, oh my gosh, I didn't do this. And before you know it, the pile of everything you need to accomplish for day-to-day life gets in the way, and there's no time to write. So if you can start training yourself to write what it is that you really need to accomplish that day, then always when you write that list, write 10 minutes for writing, 5 minutes of writing, and the writing time will start to grow as you start believing that you are a writer. The second notebook is for you to write your ideas in. And so I like to keep that one in 2 spots. One, I take it with me when I go to my special place for writing. And 2, I take it with me to bed, so that if I wake up in the middle of the night and I have an idea, I can jot it down. And when I jot it down, I can go, okay, and go back to sleep. But of course, sometimes you just write the whole story, but that's another story. Anyway, so you want to write those ideas that come to you in the middle of the night and have them in that special book. So for me, this is my special book, and I carry it with me. I'll even take this with me if I go somewhere and I know I'm going to be 2 or 3 hours and I might be waiting. Then an idea might pop in my head, and I'll forget that idea. So I need to write that down. So you really want to have your special notebook. Now, going back to believing in yourself. So now we've done these roadblocks and you've said, okay, I'm a writer. Now, some people believe that if you say I'm a writer, that you already have a roadblock. That's not the way I think. I think that if you're doing other work, like I was a teacher, but I was always storytelling. I didn't even think about eventually putting these stories down on paper, but I really believe that as I transitioned into writing, that I just totally believe in saying, I'm a writer, I'm a writer. I even went and made myself business cards that said, Diann Floyd Boehm, educator and speaker and writer. And the more I would start verbalizing it, the more I started believing in myself. And I was going from writing just 5 minutes a day to 10 minutes a day to longer. So now we're ready to move forward. We believe in ourselves. We have everything set up, and we walk into that space. And then you open up the book or your computer, whichever you choose. Personally, I like writing and then transferring. I like the form and the flow of writing. But you open that book, and all of a sudden, there's this blank page, and you look at it, and sometimes all those feelings you had when you were younger about the blank page and the teacher said you needed to fill it, and then if you're a girl, you might sit there and you might like start covering it up when you were younger, and the tears start flowing because you're like, oh, what am I going to write about? Well, when you have that moment, I want you to just go and close your eyes and just relax and just think. And I just want you to write whatever in your mind. No one said you had to sit down and you had to write a novel. Write down why you think you want to be a writer. Write down somebody made you mad today. Write down some topics you might be interested, but write. And every single day you write something that takes you closer to achieving your final goal. And the more you write, and the more you set times to write in that specific place, the more you become the writer. And then you start finding your true voice. And that is an interesting thing. So you want to be a writer and you want to find your true voice. Some things I suggest, basically because it's what I did, is I already knew I was a good storyteller because I'd been telling stories my whole life, and then as a teacher, stories. But I needed to reconnect with who in my audience that I wanted to be. Because as I went back through and looked at the things I was writing in my little book, I was all over the map. And I was writing about angels. I was writing about prose for about life and etc. And then stories to inspire kids to love themselves. And then I realized that it was really, of course, children that I wanted to write for, because those were my stories that I would make up for the kiddos in class. And so I went to several different types of bookstores, and I looked at different books, saw what was selling, what was not selling, listened to parents talk with their little kiddos and things they were interested in, and it would spark my imagination, and it also gave me direction. So whether you want to write for little kids or you want to write for grown-ups, go to the bookstore, go to other places, and see what audiences are in need of. Maybe it's cooking. You might want to take some cooking classes because you love cooking and you want to write a cookbook. So go take some cooking classes just for fun, because A, you'll have fun, and B, you will hear what other people that are in those classes are hungry for, and it will give you ideas. And when you come back to your special place, you'll write thoughts and ideas. And the more you write and the more you discover what people want, your true voice will come out. And that's the magic of writing, is discovering the focus and your true voice. So when I started looking at everything that I had written, and there was a lot, and it will never, ever be published, but it's dear to my heart because that was my journey to get me to where I am today. And so don't sit down and think that you have to write a novel. Just write. And that voice that you're looking for, that identity of what the message is you want to get across. So for me, I discovered my true voice and message was, one, how we're more alike than different for kiddos, to stop the bullying and to love themselves. I like to write about peace and harmony, and so that's in some of my books. And I like to write about people, and again, it fits with peace and harmony, loving themselves just the way they are. Because each one of us is beautiful, and we have a purpose, and finding that purpose makes our life special, but it makes the people we come in contact with, we enrich their lives too. So being a writer is exciting. I know you can do it. When you sit down and you see that blank page and you don't know what to do, remember, just write down titles. Write down a story that you told at work. Write down that frustration traveling the road to work. Write down the story about what you're going to talk about when you get to work. Whatever it is, every time you tell a story, that's just verbal writing. Take the story and put it down on paper. And trust me, your true voice will come. And what you have to share, whomever reads it, they were the person that it was meant to be. You don't write because you want to become a multimillionaire. You write because you have a message to share, and you believe in that message, and there's someone out there who is hungry for what you have to share. And that my dear, is your true voice. So take these tips and run for it and become the author that you are meant to be. Thank you. Hello.
Outstanding. Sorry, I always have to find the unmute for everyone. Oh, that was so good, Diann. I first of all, you are an incredible storyteller, and I love the animation, and I love the pace, and I love the content, and just how you shared, know who your audience is, and which words you should choose for that audience. That's really important. And when you get a writer's block or you're just not able to even start, just start writing about anything. Write down whatever is going on in your day. I think that was really useful.
Thank you.
Thank you. How about you, Mariska?
Well, I made a whole bunch of notes.
I hope they were good.
Yes, they were. And I really loved the way well, two things really stood out for me. The one was believing you can, and the telling yourself you're a writer already. Because I do believe that we say a lot of the times, I want to be. Now, wanting, our brain doesn't comprehend as having.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I say I'm a writer, I am already, right?
Correct.
And by only writing the stories of the day, I am a writer because I'm writing.
That's correct.
So I'm becoming that, which is what you want to be doing. So I thought that was really great. And then the other one was finding that space, that special place where you can just go and sit and write. That I think is gem.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you. It's important.
Yes, exactly.
It actually just becomes this big, a very holy place in a way. And it's like there's this energy. And I do this other thing that'll be on the Better You about how to set that up and have the energy that you need for that, for you in particular, because what I need isn't what you need, and make the magic happen and be inspired. So good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariska. Over to you, Red. What are your thoughts for Diann?
Obviously, she's a very well-spoken public speaker, natural storytelling style. I loved her hand-arm gestures, the inflections, her vocal variety, her pacing, and the smile that just kept coming back and back again. You could tell there was a passion in her voice, no doubt about that. It wasn't her first rodeo. And as she starts talking about things, she makes it seem super simple. I mean, just anybody can do this. The belief in the self and the business card, I like that. It's already been covered earlier. So the pre-planning for the next day, I think, was a very important and critical aspect of what we're doing. We're not wasting time. We know what we want to get done. That is absolutely a major tidbit in this thing here. She talked about finding her true voice. And part of that is, who is your audience and how do you connect with them? And part of that is your market research, your competitor analysis, those kind of things. And as you're finding all the answers to those things, then your true voice evolves. And as you're evolving, you're continuing to spark that imagination. And in the whole process of that, you're continuing to write down these things and you're capturing those thoughts, and it becomes just an ongoing rock rolling down a hill. It just picks up more and more and more stuff. So that's what I thought.
I love that visual because it's really true. The rock going down and it's turning into a boulder. I love that visual.
That is a good one. Well, we had 3 excellent presentations today. Thank you so much. Before we sign off, I'd like to just go around, and for people who are watching or listening, whether it's live or it'll be sometime later, we are on 11 platforms, as I mentioned. What do you feel the benefits of coming on this program, A Better You, are to you specifically? I'll start with Mariska.
To me specifically, I really, really enjoy learning all these new and wonderful things from my co-hosts. That's really, really cool. And there's always something new and different. And the ability to network is so, so cool. So that's the one. And the other one is, Jacalyn, you just make it so easy for us to share. It's really so much fun to be on your show. I would absolutely highly recommend it for anyone.
Thank you, Mariska. That is very nice. Appreciate it. Red, any comments that you have about the value that you have in being on this program?
Well, absolutely. One of the things I learned from Toastmasters was never, ever, ever pass up an opportunity to speak. But when you're speaking, be professional in what you're doing. Otherwise, you're turning people off. So you have to be prepared when you come on here. You just can't come in here and ad hoc, ad lib everything. Some people can. I don't think most of us can. We have to prepare a little bit. So that forces us to be a little bit better. And if we have to explain something to someone else, we have to know our subject better than just casually being able to do it. So you're forcing me to be a better me in the process of me helping to become a better you in your program. So those things, coupled with awareness and education from other aspects, one of the things I really value a lot is the why. That's why I do a lot of my research down at the cellular level in the body when I start looking for cause and effect relationships on a biochemical basis. I want to know why something happens. So when I'm listening to Mariska or to other people, I'm gleaning out, well, why does that work? She hit a very important thought a minute ago when you say, want. Well, want doesn't communicate with the conscious brain. It does with the subconscious brain, which is what drives us. We expect and we desire, but we don't want, we don't need, because those two are disconnect. So that was a very important tidbit that she gave there, is our brain does not always align itself. So we pick these things up as we hear all these things. And I think it's just the opportunity to share a little bit of us with your audience. That to me is what I think.
Thank you, Red. I love that. Diann, how about you?
Why, I ditto everything that they said, actually. Red took all the words right out of my mouth. Being on your show and knowing you has been magical. And what you give, Dr. Jacalyn, to everyone that's listening, and I hope the audience just continues to grow, is that really will become a better you. I know personally, I have grown on your show. You've given me confidence. You've given me support. And as Red was saying, you cannot just say, okay, I'm going to talk about this. You need to be focused. You need to be passionate about what you believe in. And I think for me, thinking about, okay, what do I want to talk about? What message do I want to get across? That I hone in and focus on something, and it's exciting what I end up coming up with. And then just learning from everybody. You had the person that was drumming once, and for me, drumming is something that I absolutely love. If I can't figure out and get into my space, I actually, the gong and the drumming is just, it reaches my soul. And so every single time I learn something from the better you. So thank you.
Well, thank you all. I was thinking last night that I'd like to come on and start presenting some lessons. And then I thought, what do I even know that I could present on? And it's so funny because I know information. I have knowledge, right? But when I actually thought about what could I speak on for 15 minutes? So I'm sure there are people out there in the same position that they are experienced, knowledgeable, educated, but when it comes to putting a lesson together, it could be a little bit intimidating. So I'm glad that you all shared that. And I would think that after you do it one or two times, it gets to be a little bit easier. Is that right?
Absolutely. But what I'd like to share, you brought up a good point, if you don't mind, is for everyone listening, you all have something to share. And just take one little thought. So like tips for being an aspiring author, that's a topic. But then a topic I did once was about words and how they're your tools. And so think about what you do and then take little elements of it and come be on the better you and share with us.
Yes, I would love that. And if you want to be on our show, A Better You, it's so easy. All you have to do is go to abetteryou.tv. So those of you watching us on television, I love this is called television. For those of you watching on television, you see the banner. And those of you listening on the radio, it's just A Better You, just like it sounds, .tv. I also want to say hello to a few folks here. William James, hello to you. Vic Bottle, hello. And Neil Tunick, hello. So they are watching. And I think that's a wrap for today. I'm just grateful that you are here and presented your lessons. And I'm going to give you a chance to let people know the best way to contact you. Mariska. Ooh. You're already on the stream. There you are. Okay.
Then I disappeared.
I was going to highlight you. Here we go. Sorry, Mariska. I'm running your banner, but for people listening, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Best way to get in touch with me is via my email. It's Mariska, Mariska, at journey2, and that's the numeral 2, discover.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Oh my God. I feel like it must, maybe I'm tired today. What do you think? Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Diann, how about you?
So the best way to reach me is Diann Floyd Boehm, BOEHM.com, and click on and get my newsletter and never miss an opportunity to see what's going on, and also find out how you can be published for free in my Shine.
Thank you, Diann. Excellent. Red, how can we get in touch with you?
I'm kind of the old-fashioned guy. Just call me on the phone. 281-687-1188. 281-687-1188. You can also reach me on my LinkedIn, LinkedIn-Red Laughlin, or my Facebook page, Red Laughlin. I post every single day. I haven't missed a day now in about 460 days of writing and posting articles on LinkedIn and Facebook, on other places. So I write a lot on health and wellness. But please give me a call if you got a question. That's, to me, the easiest way to reach me.
Thank you, Red. Appreciate it. Well, I'll let you all go, and I thank you so much for being here and for sharing your expertise with our listeners and our viewers. I'll talk to you later. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for being here today. I just want to let you know what we've got going on tomorrow. We've got some exciting shows. So tomorrow is Thursday, and our first show is Better You. And we have Pat Roquet, who's going to join us. She's from Rock On Success, and she's got a great story. She's going to be presenting tomorrow. Then at 2:00, we also have A Better You. Rachel Boehm will be in the house with us, and so will Pat Roquet. She can't get enough. She's coming back for more. And then we have It's All About Dating with co-host Lisa Manioki, and our guest is Christy Price. So we'll look forward to seeing you here. As I mentioned, we are on 11 different platforms. So we stream live to Facebook. We're on 5 Facebook pages today, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch TV, as well as Twitter. And then we're also on Business Talk Radio. After the show is finished, it becomes a podcast, and we're on Apple, Amazon, TuneIn, Pandora, and Spotify. So you'll be able to find us, whether it's live or if it's after the fact. We really appreciate your loyalty, helping us grow our brand. I also want to announce that we have launched Journey to a Better You. This is an in-person event we are planning for October of 2022. You and 10,000 of your friends will be at a fabulous destination. We are finalizing where we're going to be having it, and we will be joined by coaches, consultants, trusted advisors, people in human resources, people who supply to all of these entities. And we would love to have you on this incredible, fun event that's going to be filled with information, general session, keynote speakers. So we'll be pre-selling that sometime this summer. So look for information on that. And finally, God bless all of you, each of you, every one of you. Thank you again for your support. Thank you for watching. And thank you for spreading the word about Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.